Okay, so I'll talk you through some wet laps at Goodwood. I'm in a Lotus Elan 26R and it's about as wet as you can get. As you can see, it's hammering down at the time. So into Madgwick, round the outside or middle of the track to the outside. Rotate the car now and get an angle of attack, get on the power earlier and power through. Up towards Ford Water, watch the standing water. These cars get dragged around quite a bit by the standing water. So we're nice and early, squeeze that power nice and gently and try and push the nose as much as you can because the car naturally oversteers then. And into No Name before St Mary's, later in and go around the middle of the track to outside and use the power around the outside to get the traction. And again, around St Mary's, using the power early, all the way around the outside, hang on to the car through the exit where the track drops away, the car naturally goes into oversteer. Round Lavant in, using the power all the way around the outside, lots of traction through there, and Lavant out, middle of the track, and just hang on to the car through the exit. And we short shift the gear up to 4th gear before the kink, and think push again with the nose, push the nose, the car's naturally going to oversteer there anyway, so try and get the nose to push as much as you can. Down to Woodcote, a lot of trial and error here. I found the best way is to almost overslow the car on the entry, go around the outside and then get the power on early and get drive between the exit of Woodcote and the chicane. Into the chicane, trailing the brake all the way in, off, and then super delicate on the power. I actually straddle the standing water here with my outside wheel. I found that was the best way to keep the momentum up. And down the pit straight to complete our first lap. Into Madgwick, get the rear rotating on the brakes, trailing the brake in a little bit, start to rotate the car, and now rotate under power. Hold on to the car through the exit of Madgwick. There's no pretty way of doing it really. Up to 4th gear before Ford Water and just lift early and power early. A little bit of power settles the rear end a little bit. And then just watch out for the standing water through here. Drop a gear down to 3rd gear, off the brake early and power early, using the traction around the outside. And then I'm just trying a little bit of induced understeer here, just to experiment a little bit. It's a Formula Ford trick. Turns out it doesn't work that great on the Elans, but I was trying it anyway. Round the outside again, induce the understeer, and then early on the power. You don't actually need to do it. Middle of the track, squeezing the power ever so gently and trying to push the nose as much as I can. You see a car we're approaching here. It's the Stretton Run Ford GT40, so we must be doing something right. And sail past them. And down to Woodcote, nice and early on the gear shifts, down to 2nd, almost overslow the car and use the traction all the way around the outside. Feels very strange, but the drive you get is a great gain. Watch the standing water there on the exit and trailing the brake all the way in, again super delicate on the power because it rotates. Straddle that standing water a little bit and be easy on the power. As you're applying power halfway on the curve, you don't want to apply too much power, otherwise it gets quite exciting. So into Madgwick, I tried something different this time. So wide again, and then I try and go wide again, which actually worked. The conditions you can see are changing, so the lines are changing. So I'm experimenting to go grip hunting. Into Ford Water and push the nose, hold on to the rear end as much as you can, and there's a bit of advice for a wet Goodwood.